Hey everybody, this is Rebel Builder with another update on my minifigure scale AT-M6. Today we're looking at the back legs. Yes, I have both back legs built here. It's really hard to capture the scale of this thing in the video, but these actually sit at about 22.5 inches tall. The first leg took the longest to build because that's the design process, having to figure out all of the geometry, how big it's going to be. And then the second leg, you're just kind of recreating that. Now we've seen a few people build big walkers like this, you know, Cave God and Rich Boy J and some others. And I think I did some different things with the technique of these legs. Really my main goal here was to build a bend in the knee. Now this is not a functional hinge, this does not move or anything. This is a static position. Really with the size and the weight of this whole thing, there's just no way you could really make these posable and still stand up on its own. But what I did is I used pretty much every kind of technique I could come up with. And this section here, this is bricks. Really, this is pretty conventional down here. We got just bricks and bricks in here, but I have lift arms this way, giving it structural strength. And then once we get up here, I actually changed the direction of the way I built. This is actually based on long Technic bricks, and it's actually built sideways instead of up and down. And you can see these things are a little flimsy, a little wobble to them. I'm hoping now with this build, we're getting into the area of I have ideas and I'm hoping it all comes together. But I'm hoping that once these are connected to the body and you know, it's all kind of stabilizing itself, it'll all hold together. Okay, we'll start at the bottom and kind of work our way up and kind of go over some of these little details. Now the foot here, you know, I don't really think I did anything new. There's been a lot of builders that have achieved similar kinds of designs with, you know, the AT-ATs and stuff. It's really hard, as I keep saying, to convey scale here. So just take a look at that. There's Kylo Ren compared to this massive foot. Now I've got some arches here coming up this way and brackets on the side here, and then kind of these round slopes here. Now these pieces kind of clip onto here, and that gives it its strength and stability. Now here, as I mentioned, you know, this is pretty conventional techniques here, you know, just bricks, slopes here, but you can see the Technic structure going through underneath. You know, it's really, this section, the Technic kind of gives it strength, but it's also bracing for the pressure and the, you know, kind of the weight and the stress that is coming from this bent knee here, you know, and kind of changing directions of the build. But these kind of sections, you know, little details, little greebling, you know, really this is fun to me. You know, you just kind of dig through your parts, your Technic stuff, and just seeing what you can come up with. So I really kind of like how this little bar worked out, and you know, this is almost like the walker's Achilles tendon or something. I kind of like that. And then you swing around to the front, you know, again, kind of the same kind of deal, just little details here. You know, these little hinges kind of giving some little notches there. Now here is the inside of the leg, and then let's swing around to the front. You know, this is tiles, you know, and underneath is just bricks with studs on the side. I like these details with these flat gears. I really like this detail here that I came up with. This is an 8x8 round tile, you know, and just tiles on here giving it different detail. Now the geometry of all this round stuff, you know, that's one of the hardest things to do in Lego, and it's been one of the hardest parts about this build. I'm gonna pop this guy off. And you can see this is where it really starts to get technical with my Technic stuff. I've got Technic stuff going here, and this connects this way. And then I have a series of lift arms underneath kind of connecting from this stuff to this stuff. And then these things start to go vertical and connect, and it all just kind of works in this knee section. And it's really just being held together by Technic pins and lift arms. And then you can see I did some round slopes on the front and the back here just to give it the illusion of a round knee joint. Now here really I'm just covering things up here with tiles and grills and more of these gear pieces. These 4x4 tiles, you know, they've got the studs on the one side. I've used a ton of those. Okay, now we'll swing around to the inside of the leg again. I popped off a lot of these pieces, you know, really just a combination of, you know, these 4x4 tiles again. And you can see Technic beams here, and then there's a series of Technic beams on the inside. This is actually 3 studs wide. All of this connects to these pieces here, which actually change direction. These are this way. I've got a row of tiles, and then I go this way. I've got some studs or bricks with studs on the side to change direction again. So these are going this way. And I use these pieces because it's all a matter of working out that geometry and getting the width correct. Next, we're going to talk about this section here and this guy. Now this is just working out some detail with wedges and tiles, round slopes, another one of these 8x8 round tiles. And you can see as we go around to the back, really it's hung on by this 8x1 Technic brick. This is a temporary connection. Now in universe, you know, in the movie, this is actually where the, you know, this hip socket would connect to this, and then when the walker walks, it actually pivots around this. My walker is going to connect back here just due to the physics of Lego. So this thing, I haven't worked out how it's actually going to connect. I think it will actually connect onto the body through a series of connections here. But you can see here, this is kind of my goal. I have one of these kind of connectors here with some slopes on top. And the idea is I'm going to have a vertical piece resting on here. It's going to snap in sideways like this. But this section back here is what will bear the weight of the walker. Now the last thing we want to talk about here for this video is this top shoulder joint. Now I have worked out so many different kinds of arches and parts of circles to create different round looking pieces. Now what I did here is I have, you know, these 4x2 sloped bricks, and then this is a 10x10 radar dish, but it's inverted, and then I've got all these pieces stacked on here. So if I pop this off, now this isn't the most secure connection, you can see all of the Technic stuff that I have happening here. I've got all the Technic beams coming from this direction, connecting into some stuff this way, all just kind of locking together to give it a really strong joint that is going to pass through to the back here and connect with this. And then just building these different curved sections around it to give it the illusion that this thing is round, but you know, really this is kind of as close as you can get with Lego. But with all these Technic connections kind of going in different directions, you know, it kind of holds itself together and gives itself a ton of strength. Okay, that's going to do it for this update. Now, I've talked about in previous videos that I have other stuff built than what you're seeing here. So I actually have the front legs done too. So the next video, we are going to take a look at those. And that's where things are getting really exciting here. We're really rolling towards the end of this project. So if you like what I do, hit that subscribe button. You don't want to miss out when that next video drops. I'd appreciate a thumbs up and comments. I love talking with you guys in the comments. And that's going to do it. Thanks for watching, everybody. I'll be back soon.